Hello, you're listening to the Rosenfeld Review, where we're just a bunch of blind men trying to figure out that elephant. And I'm the blindest guy of them all, Lou Rosenfeld. Today I'm joined by Kit Unger. Hi, Kit.
Hi, Lou.
Great to have you on the show. Kit is the Senior Director of Experience Design at Smartsheet. And she has some fantastic experience of kind of getting UX teams going at places like the IRS, and Bloomberg Government, and CQ. All government stuff or related to the government. But what's really interesting for me, and I think for a lot of people in the UX community, is being one of those teams of one at a startup that becomes something big quickly. And that's what I understand has happened at Smartsheet, Kit.
That's right. Thanks, Lou, for having me.
Yeah, so you were there from the very beginning?
No, the company was founded in 2005, 2006. So it was around for about almost 10 years before I joined in 2014. So there was a lot of UX debt that had built up.
And how big was the team or the organization when you joined?
It was about 100. I think I was employee number 114.
And how many up to now?
About 1,800
Ooh.
or so.
So that's pretty rapid. And has your team growth paralleled that?
Yeah, it's so like you said, I started as a UX team of one, and we're now up to about 40 UX designers, researchers, UX writer, program managers, design ops, that kind of thing.
So you were a team of one, you blinked your eye, and now you got 40 people working with you.
Yeah. I wish it was that easy, but yeah.
Well, the interesting thing is, there's a lot of interesting things about this type of role and what happens in the blink of an eye. But Kit is the theme leader for a whole theme on this issue of when you are trying to have your organization, your design organization, keep up with rapid growth, where one moment you are a startup and the next moment you're an enterprise, or at least you're showing many of the dysfunctions of an enterprise. And we have on September 1st at the Enterprise Experience Conference, that whole day that Kit is running devoted to this theme. And I know we have Vivi Rosenstein from Zendesk, Vasilios Xanthopoulos from Lego, Jackie Ho from VMware, a really great lineup of people who've been through similar challenges. And then the day is wrapped up with our keynoter, Trisha Wang, who is amazing. If you know anything about Trisha, you won't want to miss her keynote. So, Kit, all these folks like yourself dealing with this rapid growth, looking back on it, and you've been through this a few times now, I understand, what's the big lesson? What do you wish you would have known before you started?
I really wish that I had added design ops a lot earlier than I had.
What number higher of your 40 was the design ops, and what number do you wish it had been?
I just hired him last November, and I don't remember what number he was, probably around 30.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I had done it at 12.
Okay, say more.
Yeah. I think that would have helped a great deal.
Well, we'll say more about that.
Yeah.
What were the shortfalls along the way that you wish you would have had that person in place for?
Just everything, right? So, when I think about rapid growth and scaling, I think about people and processes and product. And, he's just been such a huge help with program management and some of these larger, design ops and research ops and
So how was that getting done? Or was it just not getting done? Or were you doing it on top of 80 hours of other responsibilities?
Exactly, right? So I've probably been putting in close to 60, 70 hours a week, every week for several years. But
Wow.
I think also another lesson learned is to get the managers in place. Like I have an awesome leadership team. In fact, Lotta. Lotta's one of the curator for enterprise UX.
The lead curator, yeah.
Yeah. and she's awesome. And so, uh, well, let me just back up a hair and just kind of tell my story about, starting as a team of one in 2014. So I was living on the East Coast at the time, Smartsheets in Seattle, or the Seattle area, and I would for my first year working at Smartsheet, I lived on the East Coast, and I would just travel um, to the office, like, once a month for a week at a time. And that's when I would try to that's when I would make sure to do all of the research and to try and prove the value of a human-centered process, right? So I would do baseline usability testing, and I would invite the product managers and the executives and engineers and whoever would come listen, because when I started, I was a team of one, but there were already like 8 product managers. And when you're a team of one, you have to do everything, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to wear many hats, and you have to perform every aspect of the human-centered design process. So, including research and ideating, prototyping, testing, iterating, and on, right? All the while you're trying to prove that value. So anyway, so I would, that's the week I was there. I would just gather everybody and, like, watch these users try to do simple things that we know they should be able to do without friction, things we know that are correlated with conversion, that they can't do easily. And then I would see what was wrong. I would go build prototypes to address these problems. The next month I would come out and do more usability testing, and they would see, like, oh, hey, the error rate went from 88% to 8%, or 0 out of 5 people last month could complete this task with ease to 5 out of 5 people could complete this task with ease. And so, like, once you've proven the value, then you get the trust and the buy-in, from the executives, and they start investing, and you're able to start growing the team. And so that took about a year and a half. And as soon as I got a lot of, not a lot, but as soon as I got, my first growth spurt, I hired Lotta and 3 other researchers immediately, because, while designers can do usability testing, you need the big guns to come in to do the real research, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so
Well, I have a question
Lotta's amazing at
before
that.
you go on into that,
Sure.
beyond sort of getting past the team of one stage. Did you ever find that you were sort of in this weird position, this pickle of, I need more resources, clearly, but yet I want to do a good job, and I'm now working 70, 80 hours a week, and so the leadership thinks, oh well, she's doing a great job. We don't necessarily need more. So how do you sort of show that you are doing, your best, but that your function is yet understaffed, and
Mhm.
without it seeming like you're not doing the work?
Right.
How do you make it clear that you're working at your capacity and you need more people when it's
That
still
is
all new to them?
that is an excellent question, and at every stage of growth, you've got to figure that out again and again and again. But back then, like I said, there were like 8 product managers, and they would come to these monthly usability tests, and they would see, oh, well, that makes sense. I need some UX help. And then you would just kind of, or I would get them to help make the case for me, right? And so they would go, we need more UX support, and that was
So you were
one
building your support system.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. That's a must. And also getting in with having monthly conversations with the CEO back then. Like, now he's too busy, but at the time, going in and showing some prototypes for future vision, ideas, and that would help too.
So I'm also wondering, the kind of person who is a team of one person
Hmm.
is often what I think of as a person who's a gap filler. They're not necessarily like a fantastic practitioner or manager, even. I'm kind of thinking of myself here, to be honest. But a lot of people I know who go into a new situation uh, are willing to do it, see it before other people see the need, are, of a certain personality type. And are you seeing this? Like, I don't know about you, but maybe with people on your theme at enterprise experience who are speaking, or other people in this role, do they quickly find that their personality type or their skill set doesn't scale beyond a team of one or a small team?
I haven't, I don't personally know anybody where it doesn't scale, you know, beyond a team of one. With me myself, it's getting to the point where, once I started growing the team, I got further and I love UX. Like I have huge passion for the field of UX. I love everything about it. Like my background is in back in the, well, I won't go back too far, but back in the 90s.
90s,
Yeah,
that's nothing anyway.
I was a graphic designer at a newspaper until Craigslist came and kind of ran that whole industry into the ground. But so then I got into web design, and back then, this was before they coined UX as a term.
Hmm.
But we were doing UX things. We were doing information architecture, for example. We just didn't know that that's what it was called until you wrote the book, right? I just grew up through the ranks, and it being a graphic designer and moving into web design was a natural progression for me. And you're right, I did jump in and just to fill in gaps. Like you see a need, and you do that. But now, like with the team being 40 people, I'm getting further and further away from the hands-on work that I love doing. And it's becoming more about dealing with personnel issues or organizational design. And so actually, this is a recent development in my career. I'm going to be um, stepping aside to run a smaller team all about innovation. So I'm really excited about this development in my career, at Smartsheet. So I think we have a VP coming in next month, to actually, run the team and to scale it, because we're going to keep scaling. We're just going to keep growing. We're at 40, but we want to get to 150, right? And so that's exciting.
Well, Kit, that's amazing, and I will just say two things to you before we take a quick break. One is I want your job, and two, don't look behind you. I'm coming. We're going to take a quick break, and
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
get right back to talking with Kit Unger. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. If you want more, not only do we have a whole bunch of podcasts in our archive, but we have something that's very current, very alive, and very engaging for groups, and that is our communities. Rosenfeld Media runs a variety of communities that meet on a monthly basis for video conferences on a variety of topics near and dear to UX people, ranging from an enterprise experience to advancing research to design and research operations. I want to encourage you to join one of our communities. Again, it is free by going to rosenfeldmedia.com/communities. Not only will you get a monthly video conference that you can listen in on and participate in, ask questions, and so forth. We'll give you access to the recordings. And for some of those communities, we're talking about dozens of recordings with really interesting presenters and facilitators. You'll also get a newsletter, and you'll get access to an advice columnist. Yes, we actually are providing advice columnists for each community. And finally, one of the most important things is if you're interested in our conferences, our communities correspond to our conferences. So you will be the first to know when programs go live, when tickets go on sale. And by the way, most of our conferences sell out. So that could be a good perk. And other good things about our conferences, such as when the scholarship applications open up. So go to rosenfeldmedia.com/communities. You're going to find something that's free, something that's interesting, and it's a great opportunity to find your tribe as well. We'll see you there. You're listening to the Rosenfeld Review, and we're talking with Kit Unger from Smartsheet and one of the theme leaders at Enterprise Experience 2020, which I don't think I mentioned, and that would be really dumb of me. It is happening August 31st through September 3rd. Virtually, you can learn more at enterpriseexperience.net. And Kit is running the second day where we're talking about what it's like to do UX in a setting that went quickly from a startup or small to an enterprise, or at least behaving like an enterprise. And Kit, so you've got a great group of people speaking that you're helping get ready. You're spending the next few months, have been spending a couple of months meeting with them and taking their ideas from a concept to what will ultimately be a finely polished presentation. Folks from Lego, VMware, and Zendesk. What an interesting group of companies. What are they going to be talking about?
Yeah, they're an excellent lineup. I'm really excited about it. So our theme is all about keeping up with rapid growth and how to with the growing pains at scale. And like I mentioned earlier, it's when you think about rapid growth and scaling, it's a lot about people and processes and products. So our first speaker is Vivi Rosenstein, Director of User Research from Zendesk. And she is going to be talking about how she scaled their research practice to support the rapid growth of their development organization, which is critical, right? Because like COVID thwarted her plans of growing the team. So she was able to grow it a little bit, but then there was, a hold on hiring. And so she had to really figure out how to scale research. And so she's got some awesome tips and tricks to talk about there. She focusing on end-to-end user flows and teaching designers how to conduct user interviews and many other things.
Well, and it's important to note that those bumps along the road where, I think when Vivi joined the program before the pandemic, things were, for many of us, growing, and it doesn't always have that smooth arc, unfortunately. And that's all part of the story. So I'm really looking forward to hearing your presentation.
Yeah, she's got a lot of great stuff. And then the next speaker is Vasilios Xanthopoulos, and he's the lead UX designer at Lego. He's got a brilliant presentation about raising UX maturity at scale. And you were asking me earlier, like, what would I have done different? Early on, I would do exactly what Vasilios is going to be talking about. So he came up with this program that he wrote about it in a Medium article, and now Gartner is very interested in talking to him. But he's got a two-pronged approach, right? He's got a top-down approach and a bottom-up approach to increasing user-centric maturity. The top-down approach is his team, the UX designers on his team are partnering with various business leaders, and they're trying to increase executive support through education, vision setting, establishing goals, and basically just driving home the fact that UX is everybody's responsibility. And then to augment that, the bottom-up approach is they've established basically a mini UX university, UX academy of sorts, where they're creating UX ambassadors, people who are not UX designers, but that are interested, these UX ambassadors to be embedded on all of the different product teams. And if I remember correctly, it's about a 6-month program. And these people, they get to spend 20% of their time going through this program. And it's a mix of classroom teaching, mentoring, hands-on work, and it's just to help them, give them the tools and the knowledge they need to carry out the smaller day-to-day UX activities.
Oh, that's awesome. That reminds me a bit of what if I understand what Tomer Sharon was doing when he was at WeWork in terms of getting the community managers at all those different locations at WeWork back in the day to basically become UX people to a degree. So glad to see this sort of scaling happening in many different settings.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. And then Jackie Ho's going to wrap it up for our theme. She's the design practice lead at VMware Pivotal Labs, and her the title of her presentation is "Lead Effectively While Preserving Team Autonomy with Growth Boards." And do you know anything about growth boards? Like this is new to me.
Nope,
Okay.
nothing at all.
I think it's relatively new, but so the point is not now that we've scaled and companies, like a company might have all these teams in place. How do we keep them accountable? How do we help them maintain their autonomy while at the same time, keeping them all aligned? And basically, how do we make sure everybody's rowing in the same direction? And growth boards is a mechanism for doing that. And a growth board, it's growth boards, it's in terms of a board of people,
Hmm.
but also content. And it's an implementation of lean governance, which is a method that David Kidder and Eric Ries, is that how you say his
Reese.
name? Reese, so,
Hmm.
thanks, came up with. And the whole goal is just to maximize fast and correct decision making and help with funding decisions. So she'll walk us through a case study of one of their large clients.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it must be quite a lot of fun working with them over these months and seeing their growth as not only as in terms of their ideas, but as speakers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
Well, if this is appealing, if this sounds like something you, the listener, would be interested in, this is all going to be at Enterprise Experience virtual conference, August 31st through September 3rd. And this day, will be taking place on September 1st. You could just register for the day, but come on, the whole conference is going to be fantastic, of course. And I'm not biased or anything. Before we wrap up, Kit, could you tell me if there's someone or something that really has landed with you that you think our listeners should know about?
Sure. Yeah. I would love to tell everyone about Sarah Hubbard, who is an up and coming leader in our field. Sarah joined my team about a year and a half ago through an acquisition. And she's doing so much to promote women and other represented groups in UX. She's one of the co-founders of the CDUX meetup group, and CDUX stands for Seattle Women of Design and UX. I think she started that group a few years ago in 2017, and she's already gotten it up to a membership of 2,600 people. She's also an instructor and mentor at one of the UX schools around here, School of Visual Concepts. But what I really admire about Sarah is her stance that companies need to live their values authentically, and I think that's like important in this day and age
Mm-hmm.
of Black Lives Matter and just also women just being underrepresented in tech. And she's I'm from the older generation, and where we're expected to toe the line, but her generation is speaking out, and I think it's awesome. And she's helping us all see that it's not enough to talk about the importance of being diverse. You have to be intentional about it. You can't make a statement that we're committed to diversity but then continue to maintain the same hiring practices
Mm-hmm.
and recruiting from the same existing networks that got this industry into the situation of mostly male or white male leaders in the first place. So and that's the world I want for my daughter, right? Like a world where women can be their authentic selves. And so I'm really excited to work with Sarah, and it's people like her. It's related to this rapid growth thing because, she just forges ahead, right? With what what you were talking about, like fill in the gap and do what's needed, and she just rolls up her sleeves and is helping bring the whole industry forward. And yeah, I would like everybody to know about her.
That's awesome. We need more people like that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kit, for being on the show today and for sharing your own story, your speaker stories, and Sarah's as well. And looking forward to, seeing you in a sense at Enterprise Experience, the big day on September 1st. And so glad to have you part of the team.
Thanks, Lou. I'm really excited to be part of it as well. Can't wait.
All right. Take care. Thanks for listening to the Rosenfeld Review, brought to you by Rosenfeld Media. If you like our show, please subscribe and review it on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast platform. I'd love it if you tell a friend to have a listen. And please check out our website for over 100 podcasts with other interesting people. You'll find them all at rosenfeldreview.com.